What's up, friends and family? Welcome to the Roll Call. I'm Will,
JP.
and this week we're doing a Netflix movie called Gerald's Game. It's another Stephen King adaptation. It's pretty incredible. It is. Yeah. I would say it's the best Stephen King adaptation I've ever seen.
For sure.
If not one of the best book to
And it's
film.
not like 7 hours long.
Yeah. It's short and sweet. It's directed by Mike Flanagan. He directed Oculus, which is one of my favorites. Hush, which is another really good movie. And Ouija Origins of Evil, which is a prequel to a terrible movie that's actually really good.
Pretty much, this guy and his wife, they go for a romantic getaway, and the guy has a little extra planned, and he pretty much has this like rape fantasy. He wants to chain his wife up and make her scream for help and have his way with her.
Because, you know.
Because who doesn't want to do that? And on the way out there, they almost hit the stray dog, which has a pretty big part in the movie for a dog. Things start off okay, and then she kind of freaks out. And then, yeah, he pops some Viagra and has a heart attack.
And then the rest of it's her.
And, and she's chained to the bed when he dies. Like
from his rape fantasy.
Yeah.
His
he
rape
handcuffed
fantasy,
her to the bed.
Right. That's his thing, is to handcuff her to the bed and rape the hell out of her.
While she screams for help.
I like how he also makes it like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on, really?
Now, I'm the weird one.
Yeah, I'm the asshole who wants to rape you aggressively.
And then she's like, untie me. Like, what if I won't?
Yeah.
Like, all right, now you're getting creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, now you are actually raping your wife.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, pretty much.
It went from role playing to like an actual rape.
I love his like justification, like the whole, like, come on, you said you'd try something new. Yeah, I said try something new, not like
maybe
help
like
me,
edible panties or something.
Yeah,
no.
Seriously.
Not full on rape porn, but he pops a Viagra, has a heart attack, and she is left to fend for herself,
and
chained to the bed. In the middle of the woods on like the off season of vacation.
Yeah,
so
no one around.
No one's gonna be up there for like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like a romantic getaway.
Yeah,
so
he like purposely
the earliest anybody's gonna show up is like
the next
4
weekend,
days, 4 or 5 days, which is plenty of time to die of dehydration.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. So what did you think about that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie 3 times now.
Yeah, I have too.
It is an amazing movie. It is tense. It's funny. It'll give you a panic attack at times.
Yeah. It'll make you crawl in your skin.
Yeah. Oh God.
I don't know about anybody out there that's watching, but not being able to move, like being tied down or like held against my will, is honestly one of my biggest fears. And to watch her have to deal with that is hard to watch.
Yeah.
Like, even not getting to the part that we're going to get to later, it's hard to watch.
It was especially hard for me to watch because I can't move.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So it's like that, like fantasy. Not a fantasy, more of a nightmare.
It's your everyday life.
I've had moments since I've been hit, where I've smoked entirely too much pot and been laying in my bed going like, what if, I can't get to like a call bell and I'm trapped alone in the house. What would I do? And it's pretty much like, well, nothing. I'd waste away. Yeah. I would just be stuck laying in one place dying. But she at least could move, so. Yeah. But for me, that really like brought the anxiety out because I could totally relate to like just being stuck in place. But it's a matter of her, like, she's fighting with herself. What's cool is that like she immediately loses her mind. Yeah, she goes crazy like immediately. The dog, after her husband dies, the dog shows up, the stray, and starts eating her husband, and she immediately snaps. But what's cool about that, we were talking about it, is if you've never read the book, She
just looks like a crazy person.
Yeah, she looks like she's just.
She starts to see like her dead husband. She like sees an image of herself,
and they're like talking to her. The husband's pretty much like, "You can't do it. You might as well die." And she's seeing herself, and herself is like
motivational speaker.
Pull it together. You can do this.
Like giving her pointers and telling her what to do.
Yeah. And in the book, I guess it's all just one inner monologue. So they did a really good job.
That is a cool way to bring the inner monologue to life.
Yeah, but my brother and one of his friends, they are avid Stephen King readers, and they said that this is 100%, like almost verbatim from the book. So it is possible to do exactly what the Stephen King book does. And I remember talking to my friend a while back when they announced Gerald's game, and he said, I don't know how they're going to do it at all. I don't know how they're going to make it into a movie because it's all told from one perspective, and I just don't know how it's going to translate.
Dude, for a movie that really honestly spent 80 to 90% of its time in the same room, it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
They did a good job at like keeping your mind on its toes. Like there was no points in the movie where you had time to be like, all right, well, this is boring, or I need to get out of this room. Like, what's going on? Like, it seems like every time, like every few minutes, something else was going down. Yeah. And like when death showed up in the corner, like
you don't know if it's death.
Like you don't know. Like that's the craziest part is.
You think it's
when her husband first shows up. There's a little bit of you that's like, oh my god, thank God he's not dead.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God he's not dead.
Yeah.
And then you slowly start to realize, like as she does, like no, wait, he's dead.
Exactly.
He's
he's
definitely
she starts
dead.
to see the Midnight Man or the Moonlight Man, and at first it's like you think he's her imagination, but then it's like, well, why did the dog run away at night?
Yeah.
And there's a boot print in the blood, and it's like, so is she imagining it? Yeah. It's crazy.
It's definitely a psychological mind fuck at times.
So let's talk about the scene.
In the movie, before Gerald dies, he pops a Viagra, and he takes a drink of water out of a glass and puts it on a shelf over the bed. Well, she's been fighting for days. I think, like 2 days now she's been in there?
2 or 3 days.
And she kind of figures out that the only way she's going to get out is to pretty much force her hand through the handcuffs. And I have a pretty strong stomach. And
I don't.
I can watch a lot of stuff, and for me, in movies, the grosser the better. Usually, this I can't watch it. Like the first time I saw it, I didn't know it was coming, so I watched it. The second time I saw the movie, I didn't watch it, and I knew it was coming.
I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah.
How could you not watch it?
I don't know. I watched it, but I knew it was coming, and it still had the same effect on me. But I didn't watch it like I did the first time. Anyway, she like breaks the glass and somehow manages to like wedge a piece of it in the like frame of the dresser or whatever you call it. The shelf, yeah. And then proceeds to stab herself in the wrist and then butterfly her hand open. And I'm not doing it justice by talking like that. But she literally peels like the whole palm of her hand off. Like a cut up and then a T, and then just like slowly pulls it through the handcuff, and her oh my god, it just slowly starts to peel off like a glove.
It's so hard to watch.
Like you can see like tendons and veins and bone.
Best makeup effects.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Whoever did that makeup should be making like millions of dollars.
It made my brother, like he was going to be a nurse, and he paused the movie, left the room, and had to lay down somewhere because it was too much. He was going to pass out. So there's a disclaimer for that.
Yeah, it was one of the most graphic scenes I've ever seen in a movie, period.
So if you're going to watch it...
Even in Cabin Fever, when their skin's falling off and she's like shaving in the bathtub, nowhere near as bad as this.
Even 13 Reasons Why. You see the skin split.
Yeah.
It's like, that was rough to watch. And this was like, yeah, that's nothing.
She manages to get away, and then she ends up getting out of the house, getting in a car, and then she passes out from blood loss, crashes the car, and then
people find her.
She's lucky and they find her and she gets saved.
And then you find out her dad jerked off on her when she was a kid.
While she was watching a solar eclipse.
Which is funny. It's Elliot from E.T.
Yeah, the kid that played Elliot.
Yeah, which is...
creepy.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable as hell. But that's Stephen King for you.
Yeah, so it's like a metaphor for the movie is that she's been in handcuffs her whole life, and at the end of the movie, she's finally breaking free of the handcuffs.
She starts
both physical and metaphorical.
Yeah, she's starts up a self-help group for victims, and she tells the story because she bottled it down. She never told anyone about her father. Now she tells it to everyone, and at the end, you find out that the Moonlight Man was a real person with an actual disorder that's in real life.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it makes your calcium in your bones grow.
Yeah, it makes you all deformed.
Yeah, so he's pretty much like a gigantic...
Yeah.
He looks like Lurch from the Addams Family.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And she confronts him at the end.
The Moonlight Man is not a serial killer, but a serial dead body rapist.
Yeah.
Which is gross. He breaks into graveyards, and at first he was just stealing one bone from each body, and then he only men, right? He would only take it from men.
Yeah.
And he had this doctor's bag, those leather carrying bags, just full of bones and random ears,
artifacts
and fingers and they, in the movie, you think it's a part of her imagination, so you don't really think too much of it. And then as the movie goes on, you slowly start to figure out that, holy shit, that's a real guy. And the dog wasn't eating Gerald. The guy was cutting pieces of him off. And then you find out that the guy had, killed his sister and her husband, who he called Mommy and Daddy. Which, again, this movie's weird.
Yeah. Stephen King.
But they end up finding out that he's been breaking into graves and having sex with dead bodies, and he was pretty much standing in the corner
waiting for her to die.
And also he was afraid of her because she's alive and a woman, which is super intimidating to him.
Yeah.
And when they finally catch him, she confronts him at the courthouse, and he turns around and sees her. And what's he say? He says, you're real or you're not real? You're not
real.
Yeah.
You're only moonlight. You're made of moonlight.
Yeah. So he's, just crazy. So it's
Well, that's what she says to him.
Yeah.
When she gives him the ring. When she escapes, she's you're not real. You're only moonlight.
Yeah. Well, so, I think at that point, she didn't think he was real. I think she...
No, she didn't. She
just was, thinking, I'm in the middle of a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, that's what this
is part of it.
That's why he said it back to her.
Yeah. And then, it ends happily with her
overcoming
her issues, and
it's really good.
She helps kids that are abused, and that's about it.
So we're gonna switch it up for scores. We're gonna try a new format for a while and see how it works. We might go back to points, but we're gonna give letter grades like in school. So what are you gonna give it this week?
I'm gonna go with an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an A plus.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. I have no complaints.
Me neither.
I really can't think of a single complaint.
No.
It was intense. It was hard to watch at times. It was inspiring at times. It was funny at times. Yeah. It touched on every human emotion.
For a Netflix made for TV movie, it was intense.
Yeah.
Netflix is on their A game.
Mm-hmm. So
they're taking over the movie industry.
If you guys have Netflix, watch it.
Yeah.
And
if you don't, get it.
Yeah, and I know you can get it through Comcast and stuff.
Yep.
So if you have the ability to watch it, check out Gerald's Game. That's why we did it this week, because we want to let whoever watches this know that there's this amazing movie out there that didn't get a theatrical release. So definitely check it out. So that's it for this week. We shall return next week for another review.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit notifications, and let us know in the comments what you want us to do. If you got any video ideas, movie ideas, anything, we're open to it. Video games, whatever. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. So, once again, I'm Will.
I'm JP.
This is the roll call.
Peace.